Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Carol Nams again, and I love just talking about random topics, and that's why I call my channel Carol Nams Life Hacks, because I think that my topics are really there to help you think through some of these weird, crazy things in life that nobody will really ever sit you down and advise you about. So I kind of want to be the person who can stand in that gap and talk about those things you just think about every day, but never really get to talk about with anybody else. And these are usually just topics like off the top of my mind. I don't plan them, I don't think about them. It just whatever comes to my mind, and I just, want to talk about it. So right now, what I'm thinking about is about my own love life and my husband. And as most of you know, I'm married to a DJ. His name is DJ Nams, and he's a pretty popular DJ. He's a Roomba DJ, and we've been married over 2 years now. Like, officially married exactly 2 years, but been together over 2 years. We have a pair of twins together, very lovely boys, the ones you see on some of my videos. And if you follow me on social media, you have seen me posting my kids. If you follow him on social media, you have seen him posting a lot because he loves those boys. So basically, that is us in a nutshell. But what I'm really thinking about right now is how happy I am in my relationship, and that really stemming from how unhappy I've been in the past and how happy I am now. And that comparison is really critical, because sometimes you don't know how good you got it unless you can compare that good to some certain bad at some point in your life and really know that this is a true blessing that you're enjoying right now. So it makes me feel like, responding to something that many people have kind of asked me about. A lot of people who I talk to on social media, and also just in regular, normal, everyday life, including my family members, always ask me, like, okay, what do you guys do? Like, how come you're so happy? And, people used to, some time back, especially around the time we met, were dating, and then had our wedding. That happened really quick because we were both kind of sure about what we wanted. So we didn't have to think about it for so long. And during that time, a lot of people had a lot of doubts and questioning us and wondering how we made this decision. And then now, so many months down the line, people are like, oh, you guys are so happy. How are you making this happen? What do you do different? And so on and so forth. So basically, I've been thinking about that and wanting to talk about some of the things that, based on my past and his past as well, and based on our current experience, that I can talk about to help somebody else make a good decision to, be happy in marriage and enjoy marriage life. So the first thing I can say is that, from my experience, marriage was meant to be enjoyed. That's the first thing. It's meant to be fun. I think a relationship is there to give you support, and both social and mental support, and any kind of support you need. You should be able to get that from a marriage. So it's really there to be enjoyed. I want to just be really open and say that, like most people in the past, I didn't believe that, because I was in a relationship before, in a long-term relationship at that. It lasted more than 5 years. But for most of that time, I wasn't happy. I was doing a lot of things because of expectations, and that's like social expectations, familial expectations, traditional expectations. And that became a burden to me. And unfortunately, especially for us women, we have a tendency to want to do what is expected of us, and we accept the burden when it's painful, when it's hard, when it's just taking so much sacrifice from you. Then you have this tendency to feel that this is what it's supposed to be like. As a woman, I'm supposed to be really struggling, I'm supposed to be suffering, I'm supposed to be a slave to this man, a slave to these children that I'm raising, and so on. But although coming out of that, I've come to realize that is not what it's supposed to be. So one of the things now. The first thing I said is that it's supposed to be enjoyed. So I'm telling that right now. Marriage is supposed to be enjoyed. A relationship is supposed to be enjoyed. It's not a burden. You're not a slave. No one is a slave to the other. You're supposed to be having fun, and having fun every single day together. Number 2 is that you don't need to bend down to expectations of other people. Your family has expectations of you, and in our cultures there are a lot of expectations. I grew up with my parents expecting me to get certain grades in class. The school expects me to behave in a certain way. Coming out of school, society expects you to behave in a certain way. I'm a Luo by culture. My culture dictates how I should also behave in a specific certain way for me to become suitable, for me to fit in. Now, marriage does not adhere to that. And as long as your marriage is fixed to kind of adhere to or to serve a certain social purpose, then it's not going to work. If you're there to serve other people's ideas and ideals, other people's concepts about how you should behave and what kind of person you should marry, then it might not really work out for you. One thing is clear. For most of us, we are expected to marry a certain kind of person, a certain person with some specific financial background, from a certain kind of family, from a certain tribe, and all that. Basically, I think the reason we are happy as a couple and as a family is because we just both felt like, seriously, like this is not something we talked about. We met and realized we click on these issues, that we don't care about what people think, and we are not going to bend over backwards to please anybody. May those be our parents, our siblings, our friends, the church, our traditions, our tribes, nothing. Like, we just wanted to be being about us, like what makes us happy, what do we want. It was not about money. We didn't care what we had or where we were at, and I can tell you amazing stories about that, but if I get into that, I will not finish this discussion. But trust me, it never mattered to us what we were eating around the table. It didn't matter to us what we were drinking. We didn't care about where we were at, where we were sleeping. Nothing else mattered. It was about the two of us, and that we really found comfort in each other's company, and we enjoyed every moment together. That when we would sit together, we're telling stories. There was one night, I always remember this, and I laugh, that we stayed up literally the whole night, like up till morning, talking. The two of us, there was no third person. We were two of us in the house. We were sitting on the couch, laughing, telling stories about Ushago, our childhood, what, just random stories. And we were having so much fun. And we did that till morning. That's how much fun we had. And for me, I feel that is a quality that any really good relationship needs to have. You really need to get away from other people's expectations. Honestly speaking, up till today, there are people who I know, they feel like, what a random choice for someone like me to be happy or to find, life with the DJ, something that I enjoy. And people just don't know. It has nothing to do with him being a DJ. Like, he could have been a doctor, he could have been a farmer, he could have been a pilot. It wouldn't have mattered. It has nothing to do with his profession. Just the same way for him. People judge DJs and say, oh, a DJ cannot be faithful. A DJ has to just, mix you up the way he does his mixes and all that kind of stuff. And unfortunately for him, it has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with that. It's just about the two of us really finding something unique in each other and enjoying that. And it's something you can't really explain to other people, but the best thing you can share is what I'm saying right now. Don't think about what other people people will say, what other people will think, what standards you need to adhere to. If you ever find that one person who truly, truly makes you happy, that you want to spend time with, that you want to spend your life with, just go ahead. Forget about everything else. Financial issues will sort themselves. Believe it or not, as long as you're two hardworking people who believe in yourselves, finances will just sort themselves out. And, when you find true love and true happiness, it's not about how wealthy you are, it's not about how poor you are, it's not about whether you live in Nairobi or live in Shags. It's just about really being with that person and having that person in your life. I want to talk about a third thing. There's so many things. I'm just trying to narrow them down to those that I can speak to very quickly. A third thing would be, I think, someone with whom you're totally free, you're totally with yourself around. That is very, very important. When it goes beyond physical attraction, it really goes beyond the image, especially images that people create on social media nowadays. But really, a good relationship and a long-lasting happy one is about the for better or for worse. Like that is true. That is a serious factor. And it sounds very poetic. It sounds very romantic, even sometimes religious, because it's part of our wedding vows. But it's actually true. Like, it is very important to have a better or for worse kind of person in your life. And if it's not a better or for worse kind of thing, then that relationship is gonna get shaky at some point. And what do I mean by that? I mean that let me give you a practical example. Like recently, as recent as last year, when I was expectant, like anybody else who's been expectant, it's not the easiest journey to embark on. You add weight, you get a darker complexion, you become so heavy, you're moody, you have this funny shape you have to move around with all the time. You can't wear your best clothes, you're definitely not at your best. And it needs somebody who loves you regardless, when you're at your best and when you're not. Someone who doesn't even notice the difference. And really, what people don't know about our relationship is that internally we hardly know the difference. Like, I wouldn't care whether my husband shaved his head bald or he had his signature dreads. It just doesn't bother me. I'm always like, he's just good any day, anytime. Most people will figure like him out as really good looking because of maybe the way he dresses, and he has a really cool sense of dressing. But for me, it's not about that. It doesn't matter. We might as well go live in the village and put on gumboots all day. It doesn't matter. And it's the same on his end with me. Like, I've changed my hair several times. I've gone through pregnancy journey. I've really looked bad. I've been at my worst. I had CS. I was sick for a while there. But honestly speaking, to God, I've never seen a point in time where his attitude or his manner changed towards me. And over the time I've spent with him, there's no day he woke up in the morning and told me I didn't look great. Like, I totally just rubbish everything he tells me, because I'm like, there's no day you tell me the truth. You always think I look great, and it never matters to you. So these days I'm like, it doesn't matter to you. You don't make sense anymore, because it really doesn't. Like, even when I think I really look my worst, he just loves me. And how do I know this? Because he demonstrates it every day. Like, even in front of people, he doesn't change his attitude. We've gone for shows together when he's playing at different shows, and those people who have come to where he's performing, you will see there is no time I've noticed that maybe he's embarrassed to be with me, or he doesn't want to be around me, or he doesn't feel cool about introducing me to his friends. Even at moments when I was so heavily pregnant and I was really, really, really not looking good, he was always proud of me and proud to be with me and proud to be seen with me. And there were days I couldn't post my own photos, but he continued to post me. And I was like, why is he even doing this? I'd feel like he's even, he's exposing me. Like, why are you doing this? How can you post that photo? And, he's always like, for him, it doesn't make a difference. It's really about how we feel about each other and not how we look. It's not about the image we have created. So I think that's third really, really important point that, you know, for a happy relationship to be truly a good relationship and a long lasting one, it has to go beyond the physical. It has to go beyond conceptualized ideologies about what you need to look like, what beauty is, how people will see you. You know, it's really about the inner person. And for the two of us, I think we've really connected with that inner person that is who we are, because there is so much good that comes from both of us. Like, I cannot talk about myself because I can't blow my own trumpet, but on his side, I would say that anybody looking at him, like even me the first time, just looking at him, and you know, the fact that he's a DJ, he's out there, he's really popular, it's so hard. Like, you would never know the real person. He is like the most amazing person. He is like the most caring, the most supportive, the most understanding, the most patient. Like, so many things that most people hearing me say this about what you see or what you think he is would be very surprised. And this is something that my family cannot connect with because they don't know him. My friends cannot connect with, his fans cannot connect with, because you know, everybody just knows him by what they see. And when you're lucky enough, like I'm lucky enough, to actually spend time with him, he is truly the most amazing person. Like, there are few people that I have met in my lifetime. In fact, there's nobody I've met in my lifetime who can match up. Very few people come close to what he is. Like, there are moments when I have honestly gone through experiences that have scared me like crazy, experiences that have caused me to react, experiences that have caused me to even get angry. But whenever he comes face to face with extreme circumstances, he is the most controlled person. And just by him being able to have so much emotional control over himself, it helps me remain very, very calm and feel like everything's gonna be okay. And I think that is so important for anybody. Like, to be able to have that kind of regulator in your life is very important. But what I'm trying to say is that, you know, the real connection is nothing to do with the physical. Like, if you're living with somebody because she's hot, if you're living with a man because he's cool and you know, he's so handsome and he's all that, then of course that's gonna fall apart after some time, because nobody's gonna be hot all the time. Like, everybody gets up in the morning looking all frazzled and messed up, and then we all shower, we get dressed, we do our makeup, we put on our pretty clothes, and we all then look great. We come back in the evening and we don't look so great anymore. We all take it apart, and you know, you have to sleep. So if you love someone because they look good, then you're gonna love them during those moments when they're all dressed up and they look good. What happens to those moments when they don't look so good? So you see, that kind of relationship can't work so well, and that your happiness will always fluctuate based on what your partner looks like or what she look like. If you love somebody because of what they look like, again, after some years, what happens when they change? What happens if unfortunately they have an illness or they have an accident? What are you going to do about that? Because life is dynamic, it's pragmatic, things do change, things do not ever remain the same. When we met, I was doing different hairstyles, different dress styles. You know, if he was just about the physical, like, he would have wanted me to look as I looked maybe when we met, or look differently, or change one thing here or there. But we have basically remained the same. I think we're even having more fun now than then, because we just really are so in touch with each other in a very deep way, that we're just like the way you just have this best friend in your life who's there with you all the time, and you can tell them anything and everything, and then sometimes you overstep and you get angry with each other, and then mnafuriana kidogo, and then It's inevitable that when something happens, that's the only person you want to talk to about it. So you're back on track, and you're talking and you're laughing, and then and life just keeps on moving and rolling and rolling and rolling. And so for me, it's just really great. I feel I've learned a lot. I'm very lucky that I have the opportunity to compare this relationship with my past relationship. And honestly speaking, I feel like I've wasted a lot of years. I wish I'd met him sooner, because life is so much better for me now. It's so much healthier. Like my mental state is really great. I feel like I'm appreciated. I feel like I live in a warm environment. I feel like I'm emotionally supported. I feel like I'm not judged. I feel like I'm free to be who I really am. I feel like I'm free to do what I really want to do. And that's another thing. Before even I wrap up, just one last point. And this is a topic we can continue talking about at some other time when I feel like bringing it up again. But before I wrap this up, maybe the other thing is about that sense of freedom. I think that's also very, very important in a relationship. That can make someone feel happy. Like in the past, I used to feel like, for me, and I think for most of us women, society makes you feel like as a woman you have to be able to get up really early in the morning and prepare breakfast and clean the house, and then you have to prepare lunch and prepare something specific in a certain way, and then supper must arrive at a certain time, and blah 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 and blah blah blah, and just goes on and on. But the beauty of my relationship, and I think what can make any relationship really, really good, is that like we don't have those kind of fixed mannerisms or behaviors that have been imparted upon us by society and by tradition. Basically, like, if I don't feel like cooking and we want to go out and have pizza, that's exactly what we're gonna do, and I feel not judged for it. And that's the best part, that in a previous life I'd feel judged if I didn't cook ugali the right way, and that would be a reason for me to feel less of a woman, less of a perfect partner. But where I am right now, it's not about my cooking skills, it's not about whether I'm washing clothes all night or not, it's not about all that. It's something like, if I feel like doing something, I do it, and he knows that I do it because I love him. If I feel differently, and usually we tend to feel about things the same way, we just do what we want. If we want to wake up in the morning and go have a drink, we're going to get up in the morning and go have a drink. And no one's going to judge us for it. And we're not going to judge each other. We just do what we feel we want to do. If we want to go and have nyama choma at midnight, we are going to get up, get in the car, drive out and look for nyama choma in the middle of the night and have it and enjoy it. If we feel like and it's good that we both love rumba music, if we feel like we're just going to go out and listen to rumba all Sunday, then that's exactly what we're going to do. And so we tend to just go with the flow. We don't put inhibitions for each other. We don't insist that things must be done in a certain way, that someone must dress in a specific way. Like, I would never tell him what to do, even in front of my parents, and he would never do the same for me. We are free with each other. We love to just be honest and outgoing and have fun together, and we have found that we're really, really, truly happy. We don't judge each other. It just happens naturally that we tend to enjoy the same things. So I would put that as the next point number 5. Just being able to really enjoy the same things becomes very important, because then you don't have those push and pull. We tend to agree very quickly, like, we just want to go have a drink, hey, let's go, and we're off and we go. Then we both love rumba, as I've already said. So we feel like listening to rumba music all day today, and that's what we're going to do. And that kind of stuff. We both love highlights in our hair. So it comes easy. We just say, well, today we're going to spend the day in the salon and we're going to do our hair, whatever crazy hairstyle we feel like doing. And that's what we do. So little judgment, so much acceptance, super comfortable. We feel that we are made for each other, and I would love other people to enjoy this feeling as well. That's why I think this would be an interesting video for you. Take those points to heart, and most important of all these points is, do not conform to traditions, to social expectations. Be yourself and be free. Thank you and bye bye.